Let's move over here. So high up. I have to slip right back here. There we go. Do, 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 do. Yo, Dan, how we doing, buddy? Let's let it build up. There's 4 people watching. What we want. I really don't know. I'm doing YouTube live on a phone. It's not the same. If I do that, then the comments are there. That's all right. Holla. And yeah, thank you. Yeah, we'll let it build up. Good morning from California, David and Connie Magical. How are we doing? Guys, if you're watching, do give us a thumbs up. Make sure your notifications are turned on so you never miss a live. Normally, we do send out a notification via the app, the Southend Dog Training app, to let people know when we're live. But unfortunately, my business partner is off today. He's the one that is the web guy. He's the one that basically sends out a notification. So we're going to have to do it the old-fashioned way and just rely on it building up as opposed to just notifying everyone. So if you've got a dog training question, guys, get them in. Oh, sound massive. I got massively heartburn today. That's what we're looking for. Dog training questions. 8 people watching. Well, I've noticed a difference when there isn't a push notification sent out. So I'll build up my down Facebook. Doing so. Oh, what happened there? There's nothing happening in the house. I'm just going to let that build up a little bit. Right, while it's building up, I'll go and grab the other phone and go with that one. Battery life. That one's not going to last very long. We missed anything? Anything exciting happening? Always. How to stop my crazy happy puppy from jumping with excitement. Okay, first things first, teach your puppy limitations. What you need to do, okay, is interact with your puppy. Have it on a long lead. If it jumps up, just simply restrain it. I've got some puppy videos coming up. I was working with a puppy border terrier today, okay, who likes to jump up, likes to jump, try and take things out of your hand. And we show you the things that we did to help that puppy. But in a nutshell, the puppy should be on a lead, yeah, when you're interacting with it. So you can control the puppy. We can easily control puppies. Yeah, when all 4 paws are on the floor, give it a fuss. Give it a treat. If it jumps up, simply restrain it. There's also on our website a method that we use with Rottweiler puppy Leo, which was hugely effective. It's called the tethered method. And we basically back-tied him to a safety gate and walked towards him. And we'd stop before he was able to actually jump on us. Then we'd fuss him when all 4 paws were on the floor. We'd walk away. We'd walk towards him. We'd try to jump up, but because he couldn't do it, all 4 paws on the floor, we'd fuss and then walk away. The full video to that is on our website and it's $4.99 to join, so come and join us. Yes. Any ideas for long line training? Where's that gone? Games or drills for recall, 12-week-old Cocker Spaniel. Okay, you'll be very interested to read my Cocker Spaniel breed review that's coming up for the VIP members later on, okay? I've done a full breed review on Cocker Spaniels. What you want to do, okay, is you want to get that nose engaged. There's a reason police and military use these dogs worldwide, and it's because of how good their nose is. So you want to activate that. In the house, hide some treats around the house, pop your dog in a sit stay, things like that. Then release the dog to go and find them. Do some scent trails and things like that. Get that dog using its nose. In order to improve the recall, first of all, you need lead walking 101 under control. Your dog needs to learn art of attention is a lifestyle before it gets anything fun or exciting. Wait for acknowledgement, okay? You need to be consistent above all else, yeah? Find it and start to use it outside a little bit. So you're actually interacting with the dog. The dog sees you're the one that's going out hiding things. You're the one that's starting this. You're waiting for the eye contact activation. then you're sending the dog out on a long line to do it. Your dog will pick up that this is you and the dog doing it together. You're working as a team. All things like this help massively with the recall. Give us a thumbs up, guys, if you're watching. It's very different when we don't send out a push notification. Oh, for fuck's sake. I'm on the dreaded Samsung S21, and I absolutely hate it. I do. I just think it's a terrible phone. The camera's good, but apart from that, it's just really, really bad. I want to dive in and ask. No worries. We have a 6-month-old GSD mix who is excitable when he sees a dog. We have been doing treats to distract, but would like him to eventually not become so excited. Suggestions. Yeah. If you're distracting the dog, you're not teaching the dog anything, okay? You're simply distracting the dog, then the focus goes back on. What you need to do, okay, is teach your dog good things come from ignoring other dogs first and foremost. You do this through Lead Walking 101. We take our dogs to parks and fields every single day, okay, but this actually undermines what we want to do. Or when they're a puppy, we think we've got to introduce them to as many dogs and as many people as possible. And what we do is we don't first teach them to ignore other dogs. So I did a really good video last night on my Instagram about how if your dog can't ignore another dog, walk past another dog without trying to pull to say hello or get towards it. If you can't sit on a bench and chill out with your dog as there's dogs off in the distance playing, your dog has no business playing with other dogs. You should not be letting it say hello to other dogs or playing with other dogs. The reason for this is it sends the wrong message. Your dog learns, there's a dog, I can play with it. There's a dog, I can play with it. Then the dog struggles and loses its mind when there's a dog that it can't play with or can't say hello, or when you have to walk past the dog because you basically over-socialised your dog and you haven't taught your dog how to ignore other dogs. So Lead Walking 101. That way you can start to bond with your dog. You speed up, the dog speeds up. You slow down, the dog slows down. Yeah? You become one, you become a partnership. Introduce your dog to a slip lead, the concept of pressure and release. Follow our Lead Walking 101 tutorial on our website. It's a full breakdown to help you. Then what happens when you see a dog, you move over, create some space, pop your dog in a sit. As soon as your dog breaks focus from that dog, whether it's looking at the ground, looking at something else, looking up at you, you want to do what I call the step back reward technique. So as soon as the dog breaks focus, you go, yes, you step backwards, luring the dog towards you with a treat in your hand. You keep the dog following that treat, you create a bit more space, and then you give the dog the treat. You do this over and over again, and your dog will learn, there's a dog, where's my reward? There's a dog, where's my reward? Now you're more interested than the dog. Step 2, going to parks and fields, having some fun with your dog, playing fetch, playing tug of war, working on obedience, sitting out, chilling on a bench, doing the same thing, watching dogs go past, rewarding those good choices. When your dog learns how to sufficiently ignore other dogs, then you've got a much better chance of calmly introducing it to other dogs. Is that it for the questions? I want to dive in and ask. What's going on? I don't think that's it, guys. It's a really boring YouTube live without actually sending out. YouTube is basically our lowest performing app that we have. I mean, on Instagram, we've got over 100,000. So there's questions flying in galore. On TikTok, we've got over 700,000 people. So the questions just keep coming in. Same with Facebook. But YouTube, we've only really just started. We did used to upload videos on it a lot, but it's laid dormant ever since I got TikTok. So we're starting to bring it back to live. So I am trying to do more lives on here to actually help people. So there's not much actually happening. How do you manage family and friends' energy towards your dog? If I apply techniques to manage the dog's behaviour, energy, but when he's at someone else's, they don't apply the same principles. It's the same as your children effectively going to grandparents' houses and things like that. You're going to expect that they're going to be loaded with sugar and sweets and they're going to have the time of their life. That's what grandparents do. And they're going to come back and start pushing boundaries a little bit. But very quickly, if you're consistent, they'll fall back into old habits, okay? So you've got two choices. You either just be consistent when you're with the dog, so the dog works by association. It learns that when it's with you in your home, has to behave this way. If it goes and stays with the in-laws or something like that, yeah, they're not going to do the same thing. Or you simply stop them doing it until they can become on board with you and follow your principle, your regime, because it's your dog. Love you, thank you so much. We were told by a trainer to spray it with bitter apple. Wow. Wow. Why? Why? To punish the dog for something that you haven't taught the dog. Honestly. No, don't spray it with bitter apple. You're welcome, David. Hopefully the advice helps. What does structured walk mean? My dog gets frustrated when they have to walk next to me and they start whining and trying to get away. That's because you don't do it enough. Structured walk means the dog walks by your side. Lead short but relaxed. You speed up, the dog speeds up. You stop, the dog stops. The dog checks in with you from time to time. You stop, as I said, the dog stops. You go left, the dog goes left. You go right, the dog goes right. You speed up, the dog speeds up. You stop, the dog stops. After 5-10 minutes of it walking nicely, you ask the dog to sit, wait for it to look at you. Then you release it to use its nose, to sniff, to cock its leg, to explore, to do the things dogs like. The rules still apply. It's not allowed to pull. So if it starts to take the piss and pull you, simply stop, wait for that lead to go relaxed, and then you move on. You can start to add in some recall commands and things like that during this time, such as an indirect recall, such as this way. If your dog's staying there too long, then you go back to structure. Full breakdown, lead walking 101 tutorial on our website. Yeah, it will literally help you. If you want to teach your dog to walk properly, you can do it for $4.99. It is cheap as chips, okay? We've made our online training group so bloody cheap that anybody can literally come and join. There's tutorials on lead walking, recall training, separation anxiety, resource guarding, reactivity to dogs, cats, squirrels, pigs, sheep, horses. What else we got? How to teach leave it, how to teach food refusal, crate training, you name it, it's in there. If it's not in there, we add it. And today there's going to be a brand new video going up, Cocker Spaniel breed review. If you like the content we post on our social media, imagine that, but much more detailed tutorial where I don't have a time limit. southenddogtraining.co.uk. Thoughts on e-collar and prong collar? Well, they're two completely different tools, okay? Both very good tools if you get a decent quality version and you use it for the right reasons, okay? So prong collars, if you're going to use one, it's got to be fitted correctly and the right size for the dog. The dog has to understand the concept of pressure and release. You don't just put it on the dog and start yanking. If it's too loose and can rotate round or go over their head, it's fitted incorrectly. And it has to be a Herm Springer prong collar, because that means all the edges are smoothly rounded off. There's no chance of puncturing, scratching or anything like that. Okay, if you buy a cheap generic one, it's going to be clunky, it's going to be horrible, and the edges, although not intentionally, they've just got rough edges that can easily nick the dog and things like that. Yeah, we all understand when it comes to a decent, like normal lead, for instance, that you can buy a cheap one from the pound shop and it's going to snap as soon as your Mastiff pulls on it, or you can buy a leather lead that's going to cost you 20-30 quid and that will last you the life of the dog. Prong collars are the same. There's cheap, crappy versions and there's really high quality versions. You get what you pay for. E-collars are the same. Not all dogs need an e-collar, not all dogs need a prong collar, but used correctly for the right reasons, they can help the dog. They can benefit the dog. There's £20 e-collars that are shit. I just wouldn't even use them. The ones we use cost £200 and feel more like a TENS machine and muscle stimulant. You right, darling? This is my 7-year-old Amelia. Do you want to say hello to everyone? We're going all quiet. Normally he likes me on camera. So yeah, nearly every tool in the dog training world has its place. It's about finding the right tool for the right dog, having an understanding and application of how that tool works. Class, appreciate that. You're welcome. Do you have a video on how to deal with a dog jumping up and trying to bite whenever I'm on a work call? Whenever you're on a work call, send your dog to its bed. Problem solved. Yeah? Crate train your dog. Teach your dog. Right now, our dogs are doing nothing. That's because nobody's giving them any attention. Yeah, if we're giving the dogs attention, if we're playing with the dogs, training the dogs, things like that, then the dogs will be all engaged and all raring to go. But we taught our dogs, you're just pulling funny faces. We taught our dogs that when they're not getting attention, to go to their bed. Yeah, and over time, that becomes a default behaviour. So when they're not getting attention, they switch off. Problem is, nearly every dog I meet that's got behavioural problems doesn't know how to switch off. When it's not getting attention, it goes mental. And this stems from the fact that you didn't teach it to switch off, so it's probably not crate trained properly, or yeah? You gave it too much fuss at the wrong times, and you can't maintain that fuss, and you're giving it too much freedom. So what you have to do is strip it back. When you're not giving your dog attention, put it in the crate so it learns to switch off. When you can give the dog attention, bring it out the crate, train with the dog, interact with the dog, have some fun with the dog, sit on the sofa with it and have a little cuddle, for instance. Yeah? But when the dog's getting bored, when it's getting restless, when it's up to no good, stick it in the crate so it learns to switch off, and that will become the default behaviour. And yes, we do have a video on everything I've just mentioned on our website in the members video section, southenddogtraining.co.uk. It's $4.99 to join. Guys, if you're just joining us, do give us a thumbs up. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. We are trying to boost our subscribers and more coverage on YouTube. Like I said, we don't use it that often. We're now starting to use it every single day. We're going to be doing more lives on it. I understand some people don't have Instagram, some people don't have Facebook, some people don't have TikTok. So we want to be doing more lives on YouTube because anybody can access YouTube. So we need your guys' help. We need you to give us a thumbs up. We need you to interact every time you see us on here. If you see a video upload, just drop a comment, even a thumbs up. It helps us massively. The more people engage with our stuff, the more the YouTube algorithm pushes it, the more people can see it, the more people we can help. Like I said, this is our lowest performing platform. We haven't used it properly for a long time. We're now starting to use it. How to teach a puppy to ignore our cats? Well, that's nice and simple. Teach your puppy to switch off. Yeah. Again, if you puppies, this is the golden rule, universal rule. Join my online training group. This is the golden rule. When your puppy's out of the crate, it's on a lead. Yeah. Doesn't get freedom. Puppies do not get freedom. It shouldn't be in another room. Shouldn't be in the garden unsupervised. Yeah. Shouldn't be able to pick things up off the washing line. Shouldn't be able to chew your skirting ball. Shouldn't be in a position where it can have accidents in your house. Yeah, shouldn't be picking up your kids' toys and things like this. If it's doing any of that, your puppy's got too much freedom. Yeah, so, and you're not interacting with the dog enough. If you've got a cat, it's going to terrorise the cat. If you've got children running around, it's going to chase after the children. Or it's going to turn you into a chew toy. So what you need to do is when it's out of the crate, that means it's just woken up from a nap. That means you need to play with the dog, teach it things. By 5 months old, your puppy should know these things, guys. I cannot stress this strongly enough. Sit, down. Art of attention should be a lifestyle. It should also be marker trained. It should know how to switch off. It shouldn't be jumping up. It should know what leave it means. It should know what food refusal is. It should be able to be brushed without biting you or attacking the brush. It should be able to have its paws checked, its mouth checked, its ears checked. It should be able to walk nicely on a lead inside the house. It should come to you every time you call it inside the house. If your dog doesn't know these things, be crate trained. If your dog doesn't know these things, you are way behind on the training if your dog's over 5 months. If your dog doesn't know all of those things I've just mentioned, but knows spin, roll over, paw, your priorities in what you're teaching your dog, that's lovely, darling. Your priorities and what you're teaching the dog are all off. Paw has its benefits, but down is more important. Leave it is more important. Switching off is more important. Lead walking 101 is more important. Yeah. Grooming is more important. Yeah. If your dog can spin around, neat trick to teach the dog. But again, if your dog doesn't know the things I've just said, why have you taught your dog that? What need was there for that? You're neglecting the basics. So you want your dog to stop terrorizing the cat. One, when it's out of the crate, interact with it, teach it some of the things I've just said. Yeah. Have it on a lead. If the cat's about, yeah, restrain the dog from getting towards the cat. When it breaks its focus, mark and reward. Turn that into a training session. Then when the pup's tired, put the pup in the crate, should sleep for an hour or so. When it wakes up, attach a lead to it, into the garden, wait for it to go to the toilet, then get ready for another training session. And as my clients discovered today who have the Border Terrier pup, there's going to be videos going up later on tonight. Okay, as they discovered, training isn't always having to go sit, down, come, things like that. Training is also teaching the dog how you'd like them to behave. So when it comes to my house, it wanted to go in my garden, so I was teaching it thresholds. Yeah, and it took the pup about 10 minutes to get that it had to sit there patiently and look at me before it could go and explore my garden. Yeah, but what they were focusing on was they thought their training sessions always had to be them telling the dog to do something. Sometimes it's letting the dog figure it out, learning how to behave. We did a session around my little Roxy, teaching the dog to have some impulse control around Roxy, not allowed to go straight over to Roxy and jump all over it. So we went over socialising, okay? We taught it how to stop jumping up trying to steal a tennis ball out of my hands. And then after all of that, we put it in the crate and I told them how to teach their dog to switch off. And we used my crate to do it, okay? And if you stick to that routine, you'll end up with a really, really nice puppy that doesn't terrorise yourself, doesn't terrorise the children, doesn't excessively bark or develop anxiety-related issues as it grows up, and your cat will thank you. Well, if it's choking itself out when it's doing a structured walk, then you're using the wrong tools, or the tools you're using aren't being used correctly, okay? If a dog's choking when it's walking, either the tools you're using aren't the right tool for your dog, or the tool you are using is being used incorrectly. We have a collar video on our website that explains all the different collars that we use, from dominant dog collars to slip leash to martingales to dingo collars to prong collars to flat buckle collars. There's a breakdown of all the tools that we use and how they work. There's also a Lead Walking 101 tutorial that teaches you how to walk your dog properly so it doesn't choke itself. That's on our website. It's $4.99 if you want to teach your dog to walk properly, literally. And not only teach your dog to walk properly, but learn how to communicate with your dog, learn how to teach your dog to switch off, learn how to stop counter surfing, resource guarding, learn how to become the centre of your dog's universe. Can you leash correct an 8-month-old lab? He's already 30 kilos and very stubborn and boisterous. You can, yeah. So I've got no objections to correcting an adolescent, which is what you've got. But if you have to continually correct your dog, you've got to really ask yourself, does the dog actually know what you want it to do? And you can't just correct a dog. If you correct a dog, you better be prepared to show them a better way to behave. Otherwise, they'll get suppressed. So I uploaded a video, how to stop jumping up, where I give a lead pop to a dog that gets overexcited very, very quickly, jumps up. And if you don't stop it there, it will start grabbing hold of your arm and your sleeves. Okay? Now, loads of people criticise, that's harsh, you shouldn't have to do that poor dog. But what happened was the dog jumped up, I corrected it, all 4 paws went back on the floor. Then my wife stroked the dog. So the dog learnt very, very quickly, if I have all 4 paws on the floor, I get a fuss. If I jump up, I get a lead pop. So the dog clearly understands what's being asked of him. So you can't just correct a dog, but also if you're having to correct a dog, make sure you're giving the dog an alternative way to behave, or make sure the dog knows how it should be behaving. What's the best way to open a dog's mouth to clean their teeth inside? Outside is okay, but inside is difficult. I don't clean my dog's teeth. I just feed them a raw food diet, which contains bones, and that's the best way of cleaning a dog's teeth. Yeah? You back? They can't see you that way. There you go.
I got new clothes.
Yes. Nah. What have I told you? Thank you. It's not me, darling. I'll get told off by YouTube. So, yeah, I don't clean my dog's teeth. I don't have to. If you feed your dog a species-appropriate diet, which is a raw food diet, and it contains bones, every time you hear them crunching down on those chicken necks, those beef tracheas, and things like that, that crunching, crushing sound, that's their teeth being cleaned. I've never had to clean my dog's teeth. Do a Cane Corso video. I've got loads, mate. Just have a look. Depends what you want. If you wanted a Cane Corso breed review, I think I did a Cane Corso breed review on TikTok, a brief one. But if you're in my online training group, I've created a new series where it was heavily requested. So I'm doing full detailed breed reviews. So we started this 2 weeks ago. I do 1 breed review a week, okay? And it's for our online members who vote for the dog they want me to do a breed review. German Shepherd was the first one. We uploaded Border Collie the other day, and Cocker Spaniel is going up later on tonight. But if you want Cane Corso, come and join my online training group. And make sure when I put a poll up, what breed do you want to see me review next, you put Cane Corso. There's loads of Cane Corso owners in the group, so it won't be long before that one comes up. But these are detailed breed reviews. Okay, the Cocker Spaniel one was like 8 minutes long. That's going up later on today. Hey, Amelia. Somebody said hello to you. She's gone now. Where are we? Where did you learn all your knowledge from? If you go and check out episode 5 of the Southend Dog Training Podcast, which is actually on here, also available on Spotify and iTunes, it talks all about me, how I got into dog training, my early days as a dog trainer, what I've learned from dog training, how it started as me to now fucking 14 members of staff and an internationally recognised company worldwide, recognised in every continent other than the Antarctica. Yeah, there's a full podcast on it. I have given you a thumbs up, so I hope you read my question. Adam, I will. Hi, VIP member. Hand-fed raw 6-month-old Border Collie started barking at dogs and people at a distance only. Any suggestions? Okay, Adam, you're a VIP member, so you're not actually going to get the answer you're looking for right now. Not because you are a VIP member. Don't give me a thumbs down because of it. But when it comes to reactivity and our VIP members, I do have something that I like you to do. Next time you go for a walk, what I need you to do for me is film what's going on. So I need to see how your dog behaves when you pick up the lead, how your dog behaves when you attach the lead, how your dog behaves when you open the door, what the first minute of your walk looks like when you pass that threshold, and I need to see how you and your dog react when you see another dog in the distance. So I want to see what your dog does and what you do. I don't want you to just let the dog go nuts. I want you to do what you would do if you wasn't doing a video. Because again, I want to see how you're reacting, how the dog's reacting. Then you submit that to the Facebook group. Once I see that, I can then see where you're going wrong, see if you need to change the training tools, see if you're giving the dog too much lead, not enough lead, see if the dog's behind you, or if the dog's in front of you or behind you, because it's little things. So one of the perks of being a VIP member, buddy, is you get more help than just a quick fire response on here. You get the option to submit videos that we can really help you and see what's going on. Sweet, thanks so much. Need to switch off now as my crazy pup needs to go for a run. Thank you for all your advice and videos on Insta. Ania, that's thank you. Amazing, lovely. Grace, do you not want to say hello to the lovely YouTube world? Why is Grace moody?
Because she went to the dentist and she has it really well and she can't eat anything now, so she's angry.
Grace is angry. You was told.
She's like this.
Emma, hey, wondering if you consider perhaps reviewing Zach George's latest dog training series with the 10-month-old GSD. He's got a new series. Right, turn that down. Grace. Daddy's working. Right. Emma, can you just do me a favour? Is it definitely a GSD or is it his Border Collie pup? Because last time I saw Zach George, he had a Border Collie puppy that he was basically showing you the dog training journey, how to raise the perfect puppy. And by 6 months, it attempted to bite 2 people, snapped at multiple dogs. Yeah. Zach George isn't a dog trainer. Zach George is a very clever marketing expert. Yeah, he's got large pockets and a great production team behind him. Okay, he's the most popular YouTube dog trainer in the world, I believe. But anybody that knows anything about dogs, if you're a dog trainer, yeah, and you get a puppy, and your sole purpose is to show your followers how to raise a puppy from scratch, and by 6 months, it's gone for multiple dogs and tried to bite 2 people. This is a puppy that you handpicked, and you're a dog trainer, and you have those issues. You're not a dog trainer. You're a fraud. The way he deals with reactivity, he's a fraud. He's a clever marketer. Absolutely. I couldn't even call him a dog trainer. How to maintain my puppy's attention on me when there are people and kids around. I'm hand-feeding all the meals, using AOA, but random people approach us and always try to pet him so he gets excited. B, not going to lie, darling, if somebody touches your dog without you letting them, you're letting the side down, unfortunately. There is no way I'd allow a creeping hand. Literally, somebody contacted me the other day after their dog bit a child, and their dog is reactive to children, and they weren't able to stop a child. My first question, they weren't able to stop a child touching their dog. The first question out of my mouth is, how was a child able to touch your dog? If I'm out of my dog and somebody comes out with a hand like that, get the fuck away, yeah? I don't care if I offend them, because my job is to advocate and keep my dog safe. You want your dog to be calmer around people? Stop letting people touch your dog. Learn to say no. When somebody approaches you, there's videos in the VIP group, okay, because we had this and I documented it of a French Bulldog. Yeah, somebody walks towards you, your puppy gets excited, their hands are out, puppy goes straight behind you. Use your leg, move the hand in the lead the puppy straight behind you. You stand in front, hand out. Whoa, lady or gents, whatever. Stop right there. That'll do it for you. Got a 16-week-old GWP and lab. In the past month, he's become more resistant to commands. Recall, for instance, tends to get distracted by scent when coming back. Using long line, but wondering if e-collar might work better. At this stage, Aidan, I'm going to say no to the e-collar. Now, the reason I say no to the e-collar is because 9 out of 10 people that think an e-collar is going to help them, and it would help them, yeah, but 9 out of 10 people that think they need an e-collar don't need an e-collar. This is where people go wrong. Just because I use e-collars, a lot of trainers out there think that I slap e-collars on every single dog. I use e-collars with about 1 in 20 dogs I work with, okay? It's so few and far between, because nearly everybody that reaches out sends me an email, hey Adam, I think I need to e-collar train my dog, or sends me a message. First question is, why do you need to e-collar train your dog? What makes you think you need to e-collar train your dog? And if you strip it back far enough, you'll understand that there's things missing. Fix those, a lot of the time you don't need it, yeah? Although an e-collar could benefit you, you may not even need an e-collar. It may be an unnecessary tool that you get. What you need to do, mate, if your dog's not listening to you, you need to strip it back to basics. Lead walking 101. If your dog's recall is hit and miss, chances are your lead walking is hit and miss, or you're not doing enough of it. So your dog's having more and more freedom every single day. Yeah, so it's learning to push boundaries little by little. You're going to the same field every single day, so your dog's getting more confident and more bold in that field. You're walking the same lap round that field, so your dog can run over there, because it knows exactly where you're going to be. You become very predictable. Hand feed your dog, yeah, so make it work for all of its food. Stop feeding it from a bowl. Yeah, every time you put a bowl down and just release your dog to go and eat from the bowl, what it does is that's training opportunity after training opportunity being wolfed down. Stick that in a treat pouch, make them work for every single bit of food. Every time you ask the dog to do something, use its dinner to reward it. Yeah. Get lead walking 101 under control. Teach dog the art of attention. Before it gets anything fun or exciting, boom, has to pay attention to you. Unless it's paid attention to you, gets nothing. It's that simple. Yeah. Before you leave the house, wait for eye contact. Before you give the dog freedom, wait for eye contact. Before you release the dog from its bed, from a downstay, from a sit stay, before it gets in the car, out the back door, in the back door, wait for eye contact. Yeah. Your dog will learn everything fun comes from paying attention to you. Everything the dog wants comes from paying attention to you. Makes you the centre of the universe. Lead walking 101. Hand feeding, art of attention, already a game changer. Start taking dog to many different places, have them on a long lead. Your dog should not be off of a long lead. It needs to have a 30-foot line minimum attached to it anytime you're giving it freedom over different fields, different places. That way, if your dog ignores you, pick it up, lead the dog back to you. No negotiations, yeah? Start working on what we call indirect recall. So as soon as the dog starts to go too far in front, change direction, yeah? If the dog goes left, you go right, yeah? What we'll do, that'll force the dog to pay more attention to you. Every time the dog's paying more attention to you, mark it with yes, reward the dog. Yeah, got detailed breakdowns of recall training and everything I just mentioned on our website. Do all of that, you might not even need an e-collar. Do a video to convince parents to get a dog. If your parents aren't ready for a dog, they shouldn't get a dog. I'm sorry, that's not what you want me to say, but the reality is most people get a dog without doing their research, or they didn't want a dog, or the dog was forced on them, and it ends badly. Unless your parents are ready for a dog, they shouldn't get a dog. Sorry, buddy, it's not the advice that you wanted, but it happens. We'll sometimes give a pop on a long line, but sometimes isn't enough. Yeah, strip it back to basics, Aidan, mate. See how you get on first of all. Make sure you come join our online group, that'll help you. Puppy's crate trained, but this month started barking for snacks and treats, unsure where it has come from. Anytime you're eating, whether it's a cup of tea, whether it's a biscuit, whether your kids are eating, whether your freaking friends are eating, puppy goes in the crate, crate should be covered up. Problem solved. It is that simple to stop a dog barking and begging for food. 1, don't ever give your dog scraps. 2, don't ever let your dog be near you when you're eating. 3, anytime your dog's eating, put it in the crate, whether it's a puppy or whether it's an adult dog. Yeah. Within a space of a week, if it's an adult dog, anytime food comes out, it'll automatically go into its crate because that becomes a default behaviour. If it's a puppy, you may have to continually put it in the crate because they're idiots. That's what puppies are. They get there eventually, but they take a while as a puppy. Be consistent. Never feed your dog scraps. That simple. When you're eating, dog goes in the crate. Problem solved. Do you know, guys, I cannot stress this strongly enough, right? That thing right there, okay? That is a dog crate. Or a pet pen UK, if you will. Yeah? It's a very nice looking crate. There is a door over there. I don't know if you can see it. Oh, that went in soon. That door... Oh, how do I get out of this? Stuck. There we go. That door attaches to it. You can get a traditional crate, but honestly, that, and use that properly, Top Gear's also on the TV, by the way, that, and use that correctly, absolute game changer. Do you want to know the houses that I go into where dogs are barking at every single noise, destroying things, weeing all over the house, chasing shadows, chasing their tails, biting people, resource guarding? Guess what these dogs do not have in common? Guess what all these dogs have in common? They're not crate trained, or they were crate trained poorly, or the crate was removed too soon. Crates teach a dog to settle down. We understand with a baby the importance of having them sleep. With a dog, we don't. With a dog, we get in the habit of letting them follow us room to room, and we wonder why they have separation anxiety. We leave them to their own devices, and we wonder why they get bored and pick things up and steal things or have accidents. Because we never teach them to switch off, they get restless and anxious. That manifests in excessive barking, any noise, they're on edge. Constantly having broken sleep. Imagine if you always had broken sleep. Crates. Crate training dogs. If dog's not crate train it today. Where are we? KFC or pizza? KFC. I like pizza. I love pizza, but pizza does not like me. If I had to choose, KFC, Zinger, box meal. My dog does not like bones though, or towels. Had to resort to ostrich intestines. Are there any bones that are irresistible? Beef tracheas are the best thing since sliced bread. My dogs absolutely love beef tracheas. Try beef trachea. You can get them in most pet shops in the freezer. I've recently switched from raw diet to Wolfworthy 80-20 kibble because my boy just wouldn't eat pre-made companies, and DIY is a lot of work for a 40 kilo Mastiff. He still gets meaty bones. Awesome, Andy. Your daughter is beautiful. Thank you. Very clever marketer. Indeed, he is, AJ Wilson. How to make my dog down with no food. My dog's down when I have food in my hand and I guide her. Okay, nice and simple. Combine it with leash pressure. So if your dog knows down with a lure, one of the things I do is treat in right hand, lure in right hand, lead on with your dog. If your dog's not trained, it should be on a lead anytime it's not in the crate, whether it's a puppy or whether it's an adult dog. What I do is, as I start to lure the dog down, I'll apply gentle pressure, normally on a slip lead or a slip collar, something like that, in a downwards motion, so the dog gets used to that sort of downward directional pressure. When the dog's down, I'll give it a reward, and I'll practice that over and over again. This way, your dog's being desensitized to that directional pressure down. So if I ask my dog to down, and it doesn't do it, then I pull down on the lead, and now the dog's used to going down. It's a nice little trick you can do. We have a trainer, but always end up using your advice. We love you and thank you. So does our GSD. He is so smart, and we have been better because of your help. David, that's amazing. Thank you so much, buddy. Yeah, guys, this is something that's all too common, unfortunately. This is an unregulated industry, which means anybody can rock up as a dog trainer. Hell, I mean, anyone on social media that owns a dog thinks they're a dog trainer, literally. These days, if you own a dog, literally that qualifies you as a dog trainer. That's why everybody gives their expert opinion on social media. I've had teeth all my life. It don't make me a dentist, but apparently having dogs all your life makes you a dog trainer. Who knew? So, yeah. But the reality is, not every dog trainer out there is very good, and people are finding it out very quickly when they're joining our online group. They're joining our online group for $4.99. And they're ditching their dog trainers after a few days, after a couple of weeks, because they're realising that spending hundreds and thousands on a dog trainer to get next to no results is a complete waste of money when they can join our group for a $5 and start to see results almost instantly. Yeah, love that, David. Thank you, buddy. Guys, if you're just joining us, do give us a thumbs up. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. 29 people watching, 19 thumbs up. What's going on, guys? Can we get them even? Help me, 30 people watching, so we need another 11 more thumbs up. Can't wait to get this to like 100,000 subscribers. I wonder what a fucking epic YouTube live would be like. If you see my Instagram lives, it's just non-stop, like question. The good thing is, guys, while you are still here, before this does get epically big, it does mean I've got more chance of answering your question. Can I see the dog, please? Unfortunately, the dogs aren't here. They are probably upstairs somewhere. Recent VIP member wanted to say, I've been using your structure street walking and art attention for bonding to help with reactivity, and the results have been amazing. Thank you so much. Well, don't just take my word for it, take Rory's word for it. You want to stop your dog pulling on a lead, you want more attention from your dog, come and join our online training group. Rory did, and Rory's getting amazing results. Rory can be happier for you. Right, guys, for some reason my heating's on and I'm getting very hot. What I'm going to do is quickly just step off to the side so I can take my hoodie off, and then I'll step right here. Still going to be here, okay? I'm not going anywhere. It's just, you guys don't need to see the fucking fat belly. Oh, there we go. That's better. Right, where are we? When you own a large Mastiff, people don't tend to want to touch him most of the time. Andy, you're spot on, mate. You are spot on. Owning certain breeds has its pros and cons. Owning a cute little fluffy dog, everybody wants to say hello to it. Owning a Mastiff, owning a Rottweiler, often people will cross the road for you. So if you've got behavioural issues, this can be a great thing because people want to avoid you. But if you've got a cute fluffy dog and you've got behavioural issues, it can be a lot more difficult because everyone wants to say hello. So yeah, the swings and roundabouts. There we go. More thumbs up than people watching. Love it. I've been in an argument with my mum over adopting from the shelter versus buying a puppy. Is there a type of dog that's easy to train? Okay, right. Rescue versus puppy. It's the old adage, which way do we go? If you get a puppy, you're part of the problem. Shouldn't be a puppy. There's loads of dogs in rescue, blah, 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 blah. So, yeah. First things first is what suits you. Yeah. I get that there's loads of dogs in rescue. I'm a huge advocate for rescue. And if you're considering getting a dog from a rescue, then please do. Most of the dogs in rescue are in rescue from no fault of their own. Yeah, they're there because people got the dog and didn't research the breed. So realised very quickly they weren't capable to have that dog. People had babies and then for some reason realised they didn't have time for the dog, even though when they got the dog, having babies must have been on the horizon at some point. Most of the dogs are in rescue aren't in rescue because they're aggressive or dangerous. They're in rescue because they had incompetent, unknowledgeable, lazy, selfish, scumbaggy owners. So there's loads of gems in rescue. I, up until recently, had 3 dogs. I had a Rottweiler puppy. I had a Rottweiler that I had from a puppy. She died at the age of 8 to cancer a couple of months ago. Devastating. The other 2 are actually from rescue. Okay, they're actually adopted dogs. Yeah, Sammy she's now 10. She was 16 months when I got her. And Roxy was 2 when I got her. She's now 9. Yeah. And they're all fantastic family dogs, couldn't ask for better. So it all depends what you're looking for. Yeah. Now I understand that some people rescue isn't for everyone. Yeah, you want to know where the puppy comes from. What you don't get from a rescue is a health check per se. So they'll have a vet check it over and things like that. But when you go to a breeder, and a proper breeder, you've often got like a family tree. There's been extensive health checks and temperament checks. They're breeding for specific purposes and functionality and things like that. So there is more guarantee that you'll get a healthier puppy than you will if you go to a rescue. Some rescues make it nearly impossible for people with children or don't have a back garden like Fort Knox to actually adopt a dog. So... And not every rescue is a reputable one, just like not every breeder is a reputable breeder. Now, the reality is reputable breeders, dogs don't end up in rescue. I don't care what people say. If it's a reputable breeder, they care about the dogs. They vet the person the dog goes to. They have a lifetime backup with that dog, okay? They care where that dog goes. If that person can't look after the dog, it goes back to the breeder. It doesn't go to a rescue. Backyard breeders who are only doing it for money, their dogs end up in rescue. So... decent breeders are not the issue. They are not adding to the population in rescue. Yeah, they care where their dogs go. We also need decent breeders for purpose dogs. Yeah, for guide dogs, for instance, for drug detection dogs, for protection dogs, things like this. These are hand-picked through selective breeding. So yeah, whatever way you go, mate, it's ultimately what you decide. But there are a couple of breeds that I would recommend for first-time dog owners, okay? Number 1, Newfoundland. Honestly, mate, that dog is the fucking soppiest thing on the planet. Yeah, you're going to have to go a long way out of your way to have a reactive Newfoundland. Number 2, Golden Retriever. Again, super sociable with just about everything. In fact, the breed standard of a Golden Retriever should have 0 aggression in it. Yeah, any sort of aggression from a Golden Retriever, yeah, is not tolerated. So if you end up with a reactive Golden Retriever, it's either come from a puppy farm or interbreeding or bad breeding or something traumatic has happened to that dog. Yeah, because a well-bred Golden Retriever is pretty much as safe as it comes. Greyhounds. Greyhounds, loads in rescue. Loads of greyhounds in rescue. Greyhounds make fantastic family dogs. Generally really good with children, super laid back, super chilled, world's fastest couch potato. If you get one from rescue, do be mindful if it's an ex-racing one, it can be reactive or have a very strong prey drive towards small fluffy animals. So you may have to work hard on socialising, but in terms of people friendliness and fit for family, super chilled dog. Yeah, if you want something smaller, Cavalier, King Charles Spaniel, generally really, really good. So yeah, make of it what you will. I'm a dog walker who loves dogs, and I'm learning a lot thanks to you. Really grateful for that. And I found more difficult to train owners than dogs. Can you relate? Harness versus leash. Right, yes, dogs are easy. If you remove the humans, dogs are easy. This is primarily why I don't do a board and train, because when you do a board and train, you actually remove the human, which is the problem to begin with. Any dog trainer worth their salt should be able to take a dog with issues, yeah, keep it for a few days, and you'll see a massive difference in that dog. You'll send a person update videos, they'll go, oh my God, I can't believe that's my dog. Are you some sort of magician? No, we just removed the problem, yeah? So on paper, it looks to bollocks. What happens is when you give the dog back to the problem, yeah, and you haven't done enough training with the problem, the human, very quickly the dog will relapse and go back to the way it was, yeah? Your dog will get 2, 3, 4 weeks, however long it's at a board and trained, worth of training, day in, day out with a dog trainer. You get 1 go home session. You going to learn a month's worth of training in 1 day? I don't think so. And dogs aren't a problem. I'm definitely going to join on payday. I've been with other trainers online academy, and you seem to be giving similar advice. But they were very expensive, and you seem very friendly, helpful guy. Oh, nice, love it. Yeah, there are some other academies out there, some good academies out there, but run by some really good trainers. Problem is, we're in a current fucking pandemic where people have been furloughed, people have lost their jobs, kids have gone back to school, where people need to buy new school uniforms for their children and things like that. Money is tight. What's the point? I'm seeing breeders, for instance. Prices have doubled because they're exploiting people because they know they're going to want a puppy during lockdown. Scumbags. Yeah. Fucking corner shops were selling hand sanitizer and toilet roll. Prices went up because they knew they could pay on the vulnerable people. We want to do the exact opposite. It's hard times, but that doesn't mean you can't train your dog. Yeah. So we want to make our group as cheap as possible for you to come and join. Yeah. It's a fucking fiver. It's basically fucking free. Yeah, we want to make it as cheap as possible, but be helpful. Have tutorials, a place where people can go, a nice support system, a nice community where you can train your dog. Yeah, that's what we want. We'll make our money off of the volume of people in there. We don't need to make our money off of an individual person. We don't need to exploit an individual person. Yeah, we make our money on volume, and people will join, and people join every single day because of the stuff like this, the free advice I'm giving, the free videos I put up. Yeah, people see what I'm saying, I'm proving. I'm backing it up every single day with video after video after video. I'm getting messages every day. People coming onto my live saying how well they're doing because of a VIP group. I don't need to make it expensive. People will come. I'll make my money off of having loads of people in there. But what I can do is make it cheap so people that are struggling in this current pandemic can come and join us. I don't want to profit off of fucking people's literally of people's fucking misfortune. Fab, thanks, Dollface, I love it. AJ, you can come again. 100%, I can't take my cane course out without several people trying to approach us, annoying as fuck, needing to tell people to leave us alone. Fuck off works well. It normally shocks them, literally, like, oh my God, what goes on? That makes total sense. I currently hand feed. I've been trying to go to different locations and I've reduced our structured lead walks lately. I use a 30-foot line, so we'll go back to basics. Love it, mate. Keep me updated. How to stop a dog peeing in the crate? If it's a young puppy and it's peeing in the crate, because you left it in the crate too long. You didn't wake up during the night to let your puppy out. You left the puppy in there longer than it can hold its bladder. If it's 8 weeks old, it's going to only have limited bladder control. If you leave it in there longer than a couple of hours, that's why it's going to have an accident. 9 times out of 10, your dog's having an accident in the crate because you left it in the crate too long. Thank you a lot. I've learned so much from your VIP group. Maybe I've just become a bit slack lately. Aiden. Right, I didn't realise you were a VIP member, but yeah. So basically what happens, buddy, is when our dog starts to improve, and we're all fucking guilty of this, even this happens to me, even I have to go back to basics sometimes with my dog. When we're in a group, okay, and we start to see improvement in our dog, yeah, we start to go places we couldn't go to before. We start to be able to let them off the lead when we couldn't do that before. Yeah, we get caught up in that. And what we do is we keep giving the dog more and more, and we do neglect the basics. We stop doing the structured street walking as you've held your hands up to and things like that. And we become a bit complacent. We let things slide. Difference is, your dog's 18 months old. which means it's still very much an adolescent. Yeah. And what happens is every day your dog takes an inch, takes an inch, takes an inch, and then it eventually takes the mile. Yeah, and my dogs do it. Sometimes I miss a few days with taking them out for a walk or things like that. Or I'll get a bit complacent with what I'm doing. Now I'll notice my dogs will start misbehaving or things like that. So all I do is I'll strip it way back to basics, be more consistent, and very quickly, within a day, they're back to the way they were. They realise that normal regime has resumed, and it's just that. But we're all guilty of it, mate. We get caught up in the fact our dog's doing so well that we keep giving, pushing them forward, but we neglect the basics. Social distancing has been great for keeping people and dogs away from me and my dog. I love that, Susan. Click and treat versus feeding on walks. What's the difference? Well, click and treat versus feeding on walks. What's the difference? I don't quite understand your question. Click and treat, yeah. So I'm guessing you're using a clicker, yeah? And you can do that on a walk, so you'd effectively be feeding on a walk. So it's not a comparison. The comparison with clicker training versus basically marker training is clickers can be extremely beneficial to a lot of people. In fact, we're bringing a child's dog training program to our online training group. And every Tuesday we're doing a child-friendly live so the children can interact on their parents' profile and ask me questions, and I can educate them so they listen to their parents more, all in a bid to create healthier relationships between dogs and children and safer relationships. One of the things I'm going to be bringing is clicker training. Now, I don't use clickers often. I actually use what's called marker training. So markers are basically the same as a clicker. So if you look at the clicker, for instance, yeah, click, give the dog a treat, click, give a dog a treat, click, give a dog a treat. So the sound of the clicker represents food's coming. Now, I use markers in a similar sense. Yes, food, yes, food, yes, food. So the sound of the word yes means food's coming. Or I'll say good food, yeah? So we use markers. Now, the reason I like to use markers is because clickers is another tool that you can forget and misplace and things like that, whereas markers you've always got with you. Now, with children, because they easily get confused, because they may have trouble with pronunciation, clicker training is a much better way of going. People that talk to their dog way too much have babied their dogs and humanized their dogs, yeah? Clicker training can be a way forward because it's a distinct sound that means food's coming, and you can use that to reward the behavior you've asked. Yeah, but I prefer marker training. But with the child program we're going to choose, all the parents are going to buy their kids a clicker, and we're going to do how-to tutorials that the children get involved in, featuring my 11-year-old, my 7-year-old, my 6-year-old. We're going to teach people how to use the clicker, and that's going to be their training tool that they're going to use to teach their dog sit, down, calm, things like that. We're going to teach them some fancy tricks they can do with their dog, all in a bid to get children to interact with their dogs safely and stop climbing all over them, hugging them, bothering them when they're eating and sleeping and things like that. So if you've got a child that doesn't listen to you, make sure you're in our online training group. Make sure you join in on a Tuesday evening, yeah, and make sure you're a part of our group for that to come very, very soon. Right, guys, I am going to love you and leave you, okay? 53 minutes. It's been quite a good one. We have run out of time. We haven't run out of time, but I still have things to do. Remember, we have an online training group. If I haven't answered your question, you can go on there. 24/7 support. Yeah, submit a question, submit a video of the problem that you're having, and you'll get help. Yeah, there's tutorials on everything that we do that will help you. Okay, it's $4.99 to join. As soon as I say goodbye, head on over to South Dog Training so you can go check it out and start your dog training journey today. If you've got a reactive dog, come join us. If you've got a puppy, come join us. If your dog pulls, come join us. If your dog resource guards, come join us. Yeah, if you're having a bad day, come join us. We've got a great community in there. Don't just take my word for it. Read through the comments of people getting success. Okay, as always, it's been a pleasure talking to you guys, trying to build YouTube. Thanks to everyone that gave us a thumbs up. You're helping massively with the algorithm. Every time we post a video, every time you comment and give us a thumbs up, you are awesome. I will talk to you guys soon. Good night.